Elara's alarm shrieked, a sound she was sure could wake the dead, or at least the undead. It was the first day of Gloomwood High, and her stomach was doing a complicated dance of nervous knots and excited flutters. She tumbled out of bed, her shimmering, iridescent scales catching the dim morning light. Being a newly hatched dragon girl had its perks, but blending in wasn't always one of them. She glanced at her reflection in the full-length mirror, turning to admire the subtle shift of colors along her arms. "Okay, Elara," she whispered to herself. "You can do this. New school, new adventures." She picked out her favorite outfit, a distressed denim jacket over a black mesh top, paired with a flowy skirt that wouldn't snag on her small developing wings. Comfort was key, especially for a day full of unknown challenges. Her mom, a majestic full-grown dragon who usually preferred soaring through mountain ranges, gave her a reassuring nudge with her snout as Elara headed out the door. "Remember your fire safety, sweet spark," she rumbled, her voice echoing slightly. Elara rolled her eyes playfully. "Mom, I'm going to school, not a dragon convention." The walk to Gloomwood High was surprisingly lively. Ghouls floated past, their laughter a ghostly echo. Werewolves zoomed by on skateboards, their fur ruffled by the wind. A group of vampires huddled under a parasol, gossiping about last night's Blood Moon Festival. Elara took a deep breath, adjusting her backpack. This was it. The school itself was a Gothic masterpiece, all towering spires and stained glass windows depicting forgotten spells and ancient creatures. Gargoyles perched on ledges, their stone eyes seeming to follow her as she approached the grand entrance. She clutched her schedule tighter, trying to project an air of confidence she didn't quite feel. Inside, the halls were a chaotic symphony of unique sounds and sights. A zombie cheerleader practiced her routine, her limbs moving with surprising agility. A mad scientist's offspring tinkered with a bubbling concoction at their locker. Elara accidentally bumped into a mummy student, nearly unraveling his bandages. "Oh, sorry," she squeaked, feeling her scales flush. The mummy just grunted, readjusting himself. Her first class was Ghoul Gebra, which sounded terrifying. She found a seat at the back, trying to make herself as inconspicuous as possible. The teacher, a stern-looking specter named Ms. Apparition, floated to the front of the class. "Welcome, new bloods, to Ghoul Gebra," she announced, her voice a chilling whisper. "Today we'll be discussing the properties of spectral angles and the square root of ectoplasm." Elara gulped. This was going to be a long day. Lunchtime was an even bigger ordeal. The cafeteria was a cacophony of monstrous appetites and diverse dietary needs. She saw a cyclops devouring a giant eyeball, a hydra sharing multiple plates of spaghetti, and a bog creature slurping up a swamp smoothie. Elara, still trying to get used to her new diet of molten rock and rare meats, opted for a simple plate of enchanted berries and a goblet of shimmering dew. Just as she was trying to find an empty table, a friendly voice piped up. "Hey, new kid! Over here!" Elara looked up to see a vibrant green-skinned girl with wild, thorny hair waving her over. Next to her sat a tall, lanky skeleton with a perpetually surprised expression, and a girl with electric blue fur and a tail that twitched with excitement. "I'm Ivy, a plant elemental," the green girl introduced herself, extending a vine-like hand. "This is Bones, a reanimated skeleton, and that's Luna, a workhat." Elara felt a wave of relief wash over her. "I'm Elara," she said, managing a small, shy smile. "A dragon girl." Ivy's eyes lit up. "Awesome, we've never had a dragon girl before." "So what's Gloomwood like for a newbie?" As Elara recounted her morning, feeling more comfortable with each word, she realized that Gloomwood High might not be as terrifying as she'd imagined. It was strange, yes, and a little chaotic, but it was also full of unique and wonderfully weird individuals. Maybe, just maybe, she would fit in after all. With a laugh, she took a bite of her enchanted berries, feeling the nervous knots in her stomach finally begin to untangle.